Hello and welcome back to Algoma Family Services Community Kitchen at Home Edition. The summer season is well underway, and so is the summer fishing season. So if you're looking for a simple fish fry, then look no further than this episode. Today we are joined by the Angling Adventures' Graham Hurley. Graham is a seasoned fisherman and cooks a pretty mean fish. Graham, thank you so much for joining us today.
Hey, thanks for having me, John. Nice to be here.
Awesome. So I thought that I'd pick your brain a little bit since I know you're such a great fisherman. Why don't you tell me a little bit about how long you've been fishing and what kind of started your love of fishing to begin with?
Well, I would say ever since I could remember, I think I was 3 or 4, I used to fish a lot with my brother and dad when I was younger, and then it just kind of grew from there, from fishing in the lake that I lived on to, and past couple of years been around the world fishing to various locations and kind of just got a little out of control, I guess.
So like you said, you've fished probably all over the world, but what are some highlights of some of the locations you've been?
I would say some of my favorite places to fish are Florida and Australia, Christmas Island, and excellent fishing some of those places, some very strange creatures that roam the seas. I can only imagine. Yeah, but a lot of my favorite places to fish are actually in the Algoma region and around home. There's variety of species around here, from pike to walleye, salmon, rainbow trout, steelhead, everything. We got it all here, so pretty fortunate to live here. I guess so. We are in a pretty wonderful place, and not everyone realizes what we have in our own backyard. So that's wonderful that you take the time and the opportunity to explore what we have here. So I've watched some of your YouTube videos and I've seen a little bit of your cooking. What are some of your favorite go-to fish dishes? So with me, big thing is to keep it simple, I find. I like myself a good fish fry is probably one of my favorite ways to do it. Just get a good homemade batter, store-bought batter, anything. Make it nice and quick. Do up some nice potato wedges, some tartar sauce, something like that, and keep it simple and keep it delicious. Graham is going to prepare for us an awesome homemade fish fry, and then from there we're going to make a homemade tartar sauce, so I'm very excited to learn that. But before we get started, we need to make sure that we wash our hands with warm soap and water for 20 seconds. So while you guys do that and we do the same, we're going to get prepared and then get started.
Let's move on to our fish fry recipe. For this recipe, you'll need the following ingredients: oil for frying, 1.5 to 2 pounds of fresh cod or your fish of choice, salt and pepper to taste, 2 large eggs, 2 tablespoons of cold water, half a cup of all-purpose flour, 2 cups of plain breadcrumbs, half a teaspoon of dried mustard, a 1/4 teaspoon of cayenne pepper, and some wedged lemon. Alright, so first things first here, we're just going to get our meat. We got some fresh caught walleye and pike, a couple favorites of mine here. First things first though, we're just going to cut it up into small pieces about that size. And you don't want to have them too big because then you don't get as much flavor coating every piece. So we'll just cut these all up and go from there. So one thing I like to do when I'm preparing my fish, after I'm done cleaning it and I want to keep it in the freezer, and something very simple you could do, if you don't have a fancy vacuum sealer or anything, what you do is you just put your fish in a Ziploc bag, cover it with water and stick it in the freezer like that, and that way it'll stay forever and you won't have any freezer burn fish. So, a little pro tip of the day. We're going to get a couple eggs here, and we're just going to put those in a bowl.
add a little bit of water. And we're just going to whip those bad boys up. Whip it. Really got to whip them. You want to whip that real nice so there's no stickies. That's where adding the water a little bit helps. Thanks for that tip, Joanne. Alright, now that we got our egg all whipped up nice, we're just going to get our fish. A piece of fish, coat it in flour. Dip in the egg, both sides, nice. And gonna add a little bit of cayenne pepper and some mustard in with our breadcrumb mix. We're gonna mix that around all nice. Now the nice thing about this recipe and a lot of these recipes is you don't have to stick exactly to the guidelines. Use your imagination a bit. Use whatever you have on hand and you can add your own little touches. So have some fun with it. Alright, so got our piece coated in egg. Stick it in the breadcrumbs. Roll it around. Cover it up all good. And there's your coated piece there. Ready to fry. Alright, so we just got our fish all battered up, ready to go here. And we got a frying pan, regular size frying pan, covered the bottom with some canola oil. I'm just going to put a piece of fish in here to see if it's ready to go. And that is just perfect. So we're just going to put the rest of these in here. You want to have enough oil in here to almost cover the fish. Doesn't have to completely cover it. We're just going to flip these after. Alright, so you see those are crispy brown just like that. That's just perfect. So we're going to turn these over. Give them a few minutes on the other side. And those will be just delicious. Alright, so you can see that piece looks about done there. Nice and golden brown on both sides. These guys a bit more. This should be good. Add a bunch of salt in here and some pepper, as much as you like for seasoning. Pepper's being a little sticky. There you have it. Yummy.
Let's move on to our homemade tartar sauce. For this recipe, you'll need 1 cup mayonnaise, 1 teaspoon relish, 1 teaspoon mustard, 1 teaspoon lemon juice, and half a teaspoon garlic powder.
Alright, so what is deep fried fish without a good tartar sauce? Here we go. We're going to add 1 teaspoon of mustard into a cup of mayonnaise. You can add a teaspoon of relish. You can use sweet relish works best. Gonna add half a teaspoon of garlic powder for flavor, and as well as a little bit of lemon juice, about a teaspoon of that. And then you're just gonna mix that all together. Very, very simple. Once again, I like to keep it simple. We're gonna stir that all up. And there you have it. Homemade, quick, easy tartar sauce to go with our fish. Voila.
Thank you so much for joining us on Community Kitchens. It was wonderful having you as a guest chef. I cannot wait to dig into this fish fry and the tartar sauce. Yeah, this has been really great.
Well, thanks for having me, Joanna. It's been a blast, and yeah, this looks really good. Can't wait to dig in.
We'll see you next time.